The.walkins. Thank you for walking in this week. As always, we have an insightful, refreshing, and exciting show ahead where we bring on new talents that have Kenya talking. Today we have the soulful and sweet Ayoti. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. On a light note, I saw you at the Nasty C concert yesterday. Did you enjoy the show?
I did. It was really good to go because I missed him when he came last year. And I've always wanted to see him perform, so I like lots of his music.
Alright.
So it was a really good experience for me.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I said last year, Jim, and that's what inspired me to go again this time because I really enjoyed it last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on a good show.
Yeah,
He's a good performer.
He did. Yes, he did. Have you always have you grown up? Were you born and bred in Nairobi?
Yes, I was born and raised in Nairobi. I was actually born in Eldoret. No, I was actually born in Eldoret.
Oh, sure.
But then I moved to Nairobi when I was about 3, and I've just been here ever since.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
What's the best and worst thing about our city?
I'd say the best thing about Nairobi is just, I feel like Nairobi is such a vibe, you know, there's lots of creativity in Nairobi, different types of artists. And for me, being a creative, that's one thing that I really love, to see how people express themselves in different and interesting ways. I also really enjoy the nightlife, I can't lie.
For sure.
Yeah, I really, really enjoy the nightlife. I like socializing a lot. So that's one of the best things for me too. One of the worst things in my opinion, other than traffic, is I feel like with Nairobi, also with that nightlife, comes a really dark side. Like
For sure,
yeah, it's very easy for you to lose yourself if you're not careful.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen.
Yeah.
Right, have you always wanted to be a singer?
I have, like, for me, I kind of picked an interest in music when I watched the first High School Musical when I was really young.
Wow. Right.
And I was like, I really love this, I want to do this. But then I struggled for some time with stage fright, so I kind of gravitated towards architecture. And then I tried it out in a way, like when I went to A-levels, I was studying towards, like when I was studying, I was leaning towards going to architecture. Then I realized it wasn't really what I wanted to do.
For sure.
So I decided to stop and pursue music then.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did your parents take that?
Oh, my parents are sent from heaven. Like, they're the best. They've always been supportive. For them, they want me to do what makes me happy, and they've always encouraged me to do things that I love to do.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What were your early influences? Besides High School Musical, like you said, what else inspired you
Okay.
to do more music?
For me, I'd definitely say Alicia Keys. To the point where I picked up piano when I was 7. Like, I was obsessed with Alicia
You
Keys.
listened to Alicia Keys at the time?
I did. Like, it was like, you remember that, like, I can't remember the name of the song. The one where she's like on a train or in a bus.
Carmel.
That one.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
the one.
That song too.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And you do have a beautiful voice,
Thank
Alicia.
you.
You can mention several genres. What kind of genres do you do?
Okay, so for me personally, I'd say I experiment a lot with my music. It took me a bit of some time to kind of figure out my style, but it involves very heavy bass. I really like bass, and like different kinds of bass, not necessarily 808s. But in terms of my writing, I tend to gravitate towards the deeper side of things. Kind of like life experiences, talking about things that people don't like to talk about, but I think people need to talk about more. So I'd say maybe a bit of soul, kind of a wavy sound to alternative kind of music. Also have a bit of psytrance vibes in my beats. I just like the different elements in the sound. And I also try to incorporate anything like African chants, whatever, just because I feel it's important to kind of have something that represents me in a way. Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
You can actually feel that in the music, which I also really like. And it's different from what other people are doing.
Thank you.
So when you're in the booth, where do you draw inspiration from? Or what's a session for Ayoti like?
A session with me. Okay, firstly, I really feed off of people's energy a lot in terms of like, I need the energy to be up and right and like clean, good energy. If the energy isn't right, then I'm not comfortable, so then I can't really get into my element. So that's very important. And also, generally, I like having almost no one in the room other than the person recording me, so I can like focus and be myself. And I'm also very emotions based, so when I'm singing, I basically just do what I feel, what feels right in the moment. Yeah.
That's lovely. What's a must-have for you in the studio when you're recording?
Sorry, what's a must?
What's a must-have? Yeah.
A must have.
Mhm.
Okay, I smoke cigarettes, so I always have to have some cigarettes with me. Definitely water to keep my vocals on point. Sometimes I don't mind having like friends with me because I also really like having company. Another must have, I always have to have lip balm. Yeah, always have to have lip balm with me. So sometimes maybe some juice too. Yeah.
Can you tell us some of the challenges you've experienced in the industry when you're trying to put your music out?
Okay, for me, when I first started, I remember I was a bit worried about how my music would be received or how I would be received as a person. I think everyone, well, just in my opinion, sometimes struggles with that fear of rejection or being misunderstood, because there's a fine line when it comes to communicating stuff like how you feel in your music. So I felt like at first fear held me back a lot, but like one thing I would say is just go for it. You never know what would happen. It's better to try than not to try at all. I also struggle a bit with gigs. Yeah, I feel like sometimes finding those opportunities is a bit hard, and also especially opportunities where you get to make money, because most people want you to do a performance, but then they don't really want to have to give you the money for the performance. Yeah.
Promoters are very notorious with actually kind of.
Yeah, they are.
This to EP, Griffinism, right? That's
Yeah.
how you say it, yeah?
Yeah, Greek
Early this year.
Yeah,
It has 4 tracks.
it does.
My personal favorite is Take Advantage. I felt like I really connected with it on a deeper level. Maybe because of a similar situation. Now, the first time we met was before your project was complete.
Yeah.
And yeah, you told me, you played for me maybe 2 songs. You told me about the rest of your project, why you were doing the project.
Yeah.
Some people out there, maybe even some of your fans might not know how personal the project was to you. Do you feel comfortable telling them
Yeah, definitely.
the reason behind Griffinism?
Yeah, I do. So for me, Griffinism came about in around 2016. I had a very hard year in 2016. It started with my mom being really sick. She had a few cardiac arrests. So at the time, it's kind of like I felt like she was going to pass on. And I was seeing a psychiatrist who explained this to me. I was seeing her towards the end of last year. She says when things like that happen, it's like you kind of trick your mind into going into grief. So they call it anticipatory grief. So it's like I was grieving someone who hadn't passed. And then towards the end of the year, my brother got sick, and then he passed on. Thank you. So afterwards, I struggled with kind of communicating how I felt, but I always find it easy to write about how I feel. And I felt like this was my first close experience with grief. And I mean, I've seen people lose someone who's close to them, and I've always felt, felt that whole, sympathized with them in a way. But then I feel like when I experienced it personally, it was so different, and I kind of felt like it was something that people needed to talk about. Because personally, I felt very alone in my grief, and I wanted anybody who listens to it to know that they're not alone in their grief. And I feel like with every hard situation, you have two choices. It could either be you end up as collateral damage or collateral beauty. So the idea behind the project was something beautiful coming out of an ugly situation. Yeah.
That's heavy. But I feel like if somebody knows that, they'll appreciate the project even more, because it really has a deep meaning. And I think when you understand it, you vibe to it more and more and more.
Definitely. And like for me, one thing that really surprised me in a way was the number of messages I got from different people that I don't even know, about how it's helped them.
Sure.
And that means the world to me. I don't care if I have 2-3 listens. If those 2-3 people have been helped by what I've put out in a way, that's good enough for
Imagine
me.
that. And you probably thought you were going through that by yourself.
Exactly.
That's
So it's like, as much as I wanted other people to know that they weren't alone, it also reminded me that I wasn't alone in it either.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure, that's amazing. Ayoti, do you have any new upcoming projects that we should be looking out for, or that you're working on?
Yeah, I definitely do. I have this project that's coming out hopefully by end of this year. It has about 8 songs. I think I should be releasing the lead single next week.
Awesome.
So the project is basically, I named it Ayoti, the Coyote.
Oh, nice. That's a catchy name.
Yeah, it's a nickname I have from some friends. I figured I might as well, because the project is basically about different sides of myself. And different things that I've been through. So it just gives more insight on who I am and what I'm about. At the moment I'm experimenting with, or what's influencing my sounds is the 4 elements. So there's the earth, the fire, wind and water.
Questions. What advice would you give to any young ladies out there who look up to you and aspire to do what you do?
For me, it would just be like I had said before. One thing that I've learned in the past year or so, the most important thing is staying true to yourself, taking care of yourself. And I can't emphasize enough on this, but for me, I feel like being connected to what they term as your spirit self is very important. Like before I'd gotten to the point where I'd started this journey of reconnecting with that, I feel like things weren't going so right, even in terms of how I was feeling. But as soon as I kind of tapped into that, everything just changed. It's like everything just started aligning itself, and falling into place.
I can relate to that to some extent.
Yeah.
Alright, that's awesome. Right now we'll get to a little fun section. Just
Okay.
a quick and back thing, not a very serious thing.
Okay.
Ugali or rice?
Ugali or rice? That's a very tricky one because I love both.
Love both.
But then, I'm Aliyah and from Western it's ugali and chicken, so I have to go with ugali.
Alright.
Yeah.
That's awesome. If you're stuck on an island for a year and you could only listen to 3 Kenyan projects, which projects would you
listen to? I really fuck with Rice's music. Like Rice.
Now we get to a little segment where we freestyle a little bit before we go to the book and you lay down your voice for the song.
Okay.
Can we get into that?
We can. Let's do it. Let's do the damn thing.
Let's get into it.
Just because you got a good food, pizzas on point.
You extra fat legs will purpose that.
Walkins episode.
Touch the wood.
Check. Maze, Karibu, Walkins. Ayoti just walked in.
Hey.
We just did a little talking. She fascinated. All of y'all boring. Tell me, you need the walk-in. You saw out, we saw him. Hey, 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 hey. You out, we saw him. Uzi. So
Hey. So when
so
walking through the door for the Views on views on views. I could get used to these views. Views on views. Hey. It's a vibe. I love it.
Ayoti, thank you for coming through.
Hey.
Before you leave, there's one thing I need you to do.
Hey.
I need you to step up to the booth
Hey.
and give me one of the soulful
Hey.
voices that you usually do. Hey. That you usually do.
Hey.
I'm gonna need you to step up to the booth and give us one of the soulful voices that you do.
You want me to step up to the booth?
Yeah.
You want me to step up to the booth? You want me to step up to the booth
Hell yeah.
and hit you up with some soul food? Ooh.
I like this.
Would you rather snitch on your best friend or go to jail for life?
Would you rather snitch on your best friend or go to jail for life? I ain't going to jail for life. That kills me.
Such a wonderful vibe. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you. I enjoyed it too.
Yeah, it's that time of the show where we get to hop in the booth and you give us a buzz.
Okay,
Are
let's
you
do
ready?
it. I'm ready.
Nice. Get it. Ayoti, now for the people out there who don't know where to get access to your music, where can they find you on your Soundcloud, your Instagram, Facebook, Twitter?
Right now my music is solely on SoundCloud. My handle is Ayoti_X, but I'll soon be releasing more music on Spotify, iTunes, and different platforms. My Instagram handle is Ayoti, _, so 2 underscores. I also have a page on Facebook where I give updates as to when I'm posting, what I'm posting, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're looking for me, now you know where to find me.
Alright. That's it for this week, guys. Thank you for walking in. Ayoti, thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me. I'm awesome.
It's been a pleasure as well. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page at The.walkins Kenya, and also like us on Instagram at The.walkins, Facebook The.walkins, Twitter the same The.walkins, and we'll see you next week.
Have you ever paid a girl's bills
Of course.
just because she got a good booty?
Yeah.
That was stupid.
Alright.
She gotta pay her own bills. I'm gonna make you extra fat legs on purpose now.
God don't like ugly.
But then that means God don't like you. Touch the booty. You want our show?
bands on it.
And now you're back with those legs.